Hello. Pardon the car noise and the crows. I just gave them their peanuts, so they should maybe stop cawing. We're starting at the site of an unfortunate event that happened these last 2 weeks. Sorry I missed last week. My allergies have been ridiculous. The weather has been ridiculous. And that's just how life goes. But the deer ate some of my currants. This one also haven't cut the grass down around them to protect what's still there. But you can see the berries are starting to form on this one, but all the leaves are gone off the top. The same thing kind of happened with this one. They ate the tops of this one. And most of the leaves, all the leaves are still on the bottom. I'm trying to get this done in the morning before work. And the traffic is not going to cooperate. My anise hyssop from last year did end up not coming back, so I ripped it out. And I will be replacing that. The currants that were covered are still nice and leafy. The two at the end did also get eaten a little bit. It's hard to see in all this grass because I haven't mowed in here, because I was hoping that my hyssop would have seeded, because it went to seed, but I'm not seeing anything come up in here, so I'm going to end up just mowing the path, which is behind the blackberries. So let me go around. You can see because we haven't mowed, the blackberries are starting to spread into the area behind. This is what the canes are looking like these days, covered in flower buds. So it's great. That's a crow telling me to move away from the peanuts so they can eat them. The grapevine is slowly coming back to life over here. It's getting surrounded by blackberries, but apparently blackberries and grapes love the same soil. This is our secondary raspberry patch, which has also not been really maintained because of the weather. So we have a bunch of flowers and raspberries growing up in the path, which should be between this post, and it is at least as wide as a lawnmower, and you can't even tell it exists right now, but you can see the raspberries kind of have really leafed out, and there's a couple of cane tips I need to cut off, but that's it. This patch, I don't know, I think it's still too cold. We'll come back to that at a later date and time. That crow is going to be driving people crazy. The bees are now flying around me as I try to get them on this bush, which is now covered in flowers. There is a little wasp. There's a lot of little wasps. Whenever I try to cut this, we try to keep it from being ginormous, which you can see it's out of frame. I don't want to show the house, but guys, thank you. I'll move along in a second. But I always get stung by wasps. The blackcurrant out front is living its thriving life. You can see all the little berries starting to form. Let's move along so that that crow can get its peanuts and be happy for the morning. I have purged the rhododendra of a lot of the dead leaves, but some of them I left because I didn't want to shock it by cutting off too much at once. You can see the tops of this are all the leaves are gone. And I cut off a lot of the branches. It's already starting to regrow new growth. Leaf sets and flower buds. This one hasn't bloomed yet. The one on the side of the house has, so we'll go there next. So we've got some bachelor buttons blooming. The iris flower heads have come out on a few of them. Still battling the lily of the valley plague, even though I did throw some more. Oh, sorry, I think this is the blue coneflower. And these are the bachelor buttons. I don't know. Maybe I'll insert a note if I've got those backwards. My lemon balm right there is doing well. This bush has fully lost all of its flowers, and now it's just leaves. These are, I think, peonies. Maybe, I can't remember what they are. I'll have to wait until they flower. This is a little rhododendron that is in bloom. I just kicked a bee away from with my presents. Rhubarb. The flowers are in full bloom. You can see I moved the pool finally out of the berry patch. For reference, these flowers stand over my height of my head, which is 5'4". So that's been great. The grass has slowly invaded the side of this, and the left-hand rhubarb is smaller, but still doing really great. The potatoes have all emerged. Our asparagus from last year is gone. I bought 2 new plants. You would have seen those in the pictures at the beginning, to go in this row of that asparagus. That's growing there, which we've harvested a couple of. More potatoes. Also, this rhubarb has been dying for like the last 3 years. It's one of the ones we transplanted from the other patch, and because I planted the potatoes and compost right next to it, it's like, oh, surprise. You thought I was never coming back? Let me take over your little potato bed here. Which is like why they say you shouldn't plant rhubarb next to things, because it will draw nutrients away from them. But the potatoes seem to be doing okay because the compost is above the ground and fresh, so we'll just see what happens with that. Let me get inside and show you what's going on in there. There's been an attempt to weed the raspberry patch and plant clover, and there's chamomile seeds in there as well to kind of keep out the weeds, which you can see the tall grass right there. The difference between right here and right here. There's kind of a wild patch here kept for wildflowers and stuff. I didn't realize I've been zoomed in that whole time. More raspberries, 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 raspberries. This is what a currant bush, ideally, ow, stabbed myself on the gooseberry, would look like. The ones that are over on the side that the deer ate. This strawberry that I planted down here is doing really well. It's getting some strawberries on it. I'm going to replant the lemon thyme and the oregano that are under there. So maybe we'll see what happens with those next week. The gooseberry doing great. Got little tiny gooseberries on it. And I did see a little bit sign of defoliation on one spot, so I've been keeping a really close eye on it. And I don't see anything new. I've been ripping out Creeping Charlie as fast as it's been growing, and you can see it's everywhere. So it feels like a losing battle. This strawberry I'm also going to move because we now need this as a walkway. That's the orange bomb I've planted in the ground. The blueberry, this one has flowered. No blueberries on it yet. I haven't planted my 2 little blueberries yet, but that's where it's going to go. And we now have another grape trellis. There's also a second bar behind, you can see, kind of. Let me move to the side. Because there was so much grapevine, actually, that we discovered. We needed more. This little blueberry is getting some height on it, finally. Let me get over here. I can show you the little tiny, tiny grapes. And the leaves are getting big now. These leaves will get a lot bigger. The comfrey plant, get nice and tall. It's got a lot of flower buds set in it. I think I had said that there were flowers on it already. Those were not comfrey flowers. Those were Creeping Charlie flowers that weaved its way in under the leaves. This is another piece of orange bomb that has naturally spread from its spot over there. These herb flower pots are doing really well. There's a lot of spreads in here, which is where I planted the flowers, but that's going to end up having to be a walkway, so I'm not sure what we're going to do about that yet. This blueberry is huge and getting ever bigger. There's another bumblebee. Please don't sting me. And the other blueberry, and that's all for here. I might have to go down later and get the orchard footage because it's almost time for me to start work. Just trying to think if there's anything else up here that I need to show you. Oh yeah, of course, the regular gardens and the herb garden. Here, this little chamomile pot, a lot more is sprouted in it than I thought. This is the one that's been barren. It had slowly started to emerge. This is just weed. The thyme pot is beautiful. The sage plant is slowly filling out. I'm going to cut off that half that's clearly dead, and I think I'm going to plant the lemon thyme in here or in the lavender pot. I'm not sure yet. This is the chives, and you can see a lot of little volunteer chamomiles have grown up from the turning of the soil, because both these pots were chamomile last year. This is a citronella plant. The little thing is just in a janky pot because it's an animal. The strawberry mint is slowly coming in. The orange bomb is also still kind of slow until the weather gets warmer. I think those are going to struggle. We have a volunteer. Oh, that's not a volunteer. I thought that might have been a raspberry cane, but it is hops, which is now really far up the trellis, probably like 6.5, 7 feet. These flowers are doing great. The rosemary is doing great. The savory is doing great. There is one small lemon balm leaf in there. Focus. So I'm not transplanting yet. I'm going to give it its chance. The weeds, bane of my existence, but onions doing great. Peas are finally reaching up to the trellis. I replanted the bare spots of peas so you can see the new freshly ones coming up. The green lettuce, I've replanted that section where there's none, but the red lettuces are outperforming the green lettuces by a lot. We've got a couple carrot sprouts here, and all along there. They're hard to see. The radishes, which I probably should have thinned, are all shouldering. I pulled 2 of them. I can insert a picture of those afterwards. The new peas that I planted on this side as well are starting to sprout. We've got 2 that are kind of hiding in the radishes there and there that are from the original crop. This green lettuce, which I think was the Grand Rapid one, has not done great, but I've reseeded it. That one's doing well. This one here is kind of being overtaken with weeds. Little flowers on the edge are doing good, and the oregano is thriving. Peppermint also doing great, and the midget summer savory so far not loving its germination rate, or I don't know. It is kind of taller than the other one, but I did reseed the bare patches, and you can see a couple sprouts coming up. So we'll see what happens with those. All right. That's all for this morning. I'm going to brave the mosquitoes and black flies later, and I will see you in the orchard then after work or on my lunch break. We'll see. Okay. And hello for part 2. Just finished work. I'm hoping the flies aren't that bad yet. So before I eat dinner, I'm down here. Give you some updates on the wildflowers we've got growing. So a lot of forget-me-nots, a lot of grass and ferns, and some goldenrod, some of this flower, a lot of this that hasn't flowered yet. Little stream footage to relax you in the middle of it. The willow's growing a ton. Crazy. This, fun fact, is burdock, which is never-ending pain in my butt, as is this horsetail, which I have no will to try and get rid of. Got one random raspberry there, and this will just continue to flower out as the summer goes on, as will all that grass area far over there as I try to do this fence. Okay, so some updates down here. This plum tree hasn't flowered yet. It's putting out new growth instead. I think it is a later flowering variety. I'm not sure. Maybe she's not going to flower this year. One of my planters is full and planted, as you can see. These are pumpkin seeds coming up. Fortunately, I came down here yesterday to do some trimming work on trees, and this whole planter was dug up. And I managed to even it back out and find the pumpkins. This side was planted with squash, and the squirrels just ate all of the seeds. I think there's one in here somewhere that was like just about to emerge. And so I tucked that one away, but all the rest of them were completely gone. So that was fun. That's the only one I've planted so far, just because of the rain and the flies in the evening. It's too much to be lugging dirt. So this planter's half full. It needs to be finished, and then I can finish planting it. This one is completely empty. The net's on top to stop the paper in the bottom from flying away. But I'm going to have to, I think, put some netting over them when I plant them just so the squirrels don't dig them up again. So you'll notice maybe, I can stand back here and show you, there is a bit of mowing that's been done here. And I like to leave patches for the wildflowers to grow. As you can see, there's a lot of clover that I planted down here. I think I mentioned that once. It's not wildflower, it's a mix of white and red. And then we'll also get wildflowers that more come up as the summer goes on. Yeah, so this cherry tree has flowered, and I think all the flowers are now done. The flowers have fallen off, and so now we gotta wait to see what the actual fruit set is going to be like on this. Over here is the other cherry, which doesn't look like it's as great. It has had a couple flowers, but I think this branch might be dead. These buds still seem alive though, so we've had a really bizarre, volatile spring weather. The same with this pear tree. Same situation of the flowers have already fallen off, and we're waiting to see. Oh, this one looks like it's already developing a baby pear. What the fruit set is going to be like. There was a lot of flowers on this one, so there's that. Okay, a lot of flowers still on the red delicious. That's still in bloom, doing really nicely. Can't show you the top, but you can see there's a lot of flowers starting in here. To this, the little baby trees, nice and protected, leafing out nicely. This is the second pear tree, which the flowers are just starting to fall off. I don't know, I don't see any little baby pears. Oh, there's some kind of little bulbous. We're just gonna have to wait and see how that turns out. These branches, this has leaves at the tip, but nothing along it. Just to wait and see what happens there. Now, our grand plum tree, which you can't see because it's blocked by all the other trees behind it. Unfortunately, I think we're not going to get any plums on it this year. And you can see here, there are some remaining of the flower buds, but almost everywhere. This one doesn't really look like it's forming anything. Most of them, you can see there was one here, oops, have completely fallen off. The flowers fell off, and then the sprigs that the flowers come from fell off. Just like that. And what happened was, fun times. We had some really warm weather, and then we had a frost warning. And the temperature went down to 2 degrees. I think it said it was supposed to 1 to 2 degrees. Possible frost in low-lying areas. In our orchard, if you can see, that's our driveway. That's regular ground level, is in a low-lying area. And so kind of what happens every year, it seems to be, is the flowers get hit with the cold and they fall off and die. So there are still a couple fresh flowers, and not all of the bud sprigs have fallen off, so we'll really just have to wait and see. But as this tree gets bigger, can't really kind of show you, but you can kind of see the tippy tops up there. I pruned this tree last spring, and then it shot up, if you can see my fingers, from like down here to all the way up there, about 4 feet in the late summer and fall. So all of that new branching will flower next year, and that's up high enough that I think we'll get some high fruit, which will be a pain in the ass to pick, but it's just the reality of that tree. This was some of the pruning that happened. This Macintosh apple tree was really struggling, and so my boyfriend cut off all the dead so it can focus on regrowing itself and not putting energy into mostly dead wood. Now, this is the tricky one. This peach tree, which is only the second year we've had it, so I don't know when it should wake up. Again, our temperatures have been really cold. They've been pretty mild, and then with spikes of hot weather, and then dips of really cold weather. So I don't know if it's just taking an incredibly long time to wake up, because the buds they're fuzzy, they're not hard. Oops, sorry. The buds are fuzzy, they're not hard. And I did cut a couple of the branch tips off that were black and dead. This one I'm not sure about. I think it's dead, but I'm just going to give it some more time, because we do have one leaf that has fully opened. So I know at least this branch is alive. And I'm pretty sure other branches are alive. Because the buds seem alive. They don't seem like, this bud seems like it's kind of dead, but these are alive. Dead, potentially dead. But all these little ones seem alive, so I'm not giving up on it yet. I really hope it survives. Nice and sunny afternoon sun. This gets morning sun and afternoon sun. Evening sun, I guess. Also, that pot back there, the things you see growing in, are just flowers that are wildflower seeds that potted in it. That's a pot from last year. Exactly how I'm going to do this. So I think I'm going to plant the lemon thyme that's under the gooseberry bush in with the sage. And then I'm going to remove this lavender and maybe plant it down in the rocky area of the orchard. And then repot this with my anise hyssop or my chocolate mint. I'm not sure. I think anise hyssop because it grows taller. And then where this chamomile is, I think I'll put the chocolate mint. That way I have all my mints and kind of culinary and tea herbs in the same area. But I'm not sure. I might plant the hyssop somewhere else, like in the berry patch, or I just can't plant it in the spot that I planted last year. Some things that I did on my lunch break, I planted a bunch of onion stubs in here, so we'll have a bunch more onions. And I weeded a little bit, although you can't really tell. Can tell more on this side. There's a little bit less weeds, I think, except for those ones over there that I clearly missed. But yeah, so it's exciting. These onions are already starting to want to set new onion bulbs. These big thick ones are the walking onions, so these will just get really tall and then fall over, and out of here will branch more little arms that look like this. Whereas the ones that I just planted, and I think like this one, this one, this one are just regular store-bought onions, so those will produce a purple flower head. I think it's purple. It might be white, but I think that it's purple. So that's what we're looking at here. I think I'm going to keep, I don't want to add any more pots here. This also needs to be trimmed and mowed. It's starting to get a little unkept looking. It looks a lot nicer when you can see the individual pots from a distance. But yeah, if you're wondering, veg, I could show you along the driveway. But this is what all those veg I'm pulling out of the garden will turn into this. This is not hop vine. This is veg weaving its way into the hops. So I'll see you hopefully next week with some stuff that I planted. Oh, the other things that I got was additional golden raspberry. I got 2 black raspberries, which I've never had before. And apparently you have to plant them at least 100 feet away from your other varieties of raspberry. But not blackberries. It has to do with disease susceptibility. They're more susceptible to a type of fungus. But I think this. Oh, I also got a lovage plant because my lovage never sprouted, and I don't trust that it will sprout. And also that patch over there where I planted it by the honeys, his up last year, shows no signs of it. I don't know. So yeah, we over here so you kind of see my shadow a little better. That is it. So I'll see you next week, hopefully, if not the week after. It's supposed to pour rain again this weekend. Every weekend, pouring rain. And when I say pouring rain, I mean like at least 20 millimeters of rain a day. So the ground here is wet. It's not super wet. You can hear my feet sliding on it. But yeah, okay, I'm just rambling now. So, bye guys.